At the end of the 2024 Formula 1 Bahrain Grand Prix, we can say two things. Red Bull has shown much less than what it demonstrated during the race, and that Ferrari, despite some difficulties encountered by Charles Leclerc in driving, managed to affirm itself as the second force, finishing in third and fourth place. The season is long, and the tracks Formula 1 will visit in the upcoming appointments are very different from Sakhir. The values might indeed change, but in the meantime, the start for the Italian team is not bad at all. Unfortunately, we are more or less starting from the same situation we had last year. Before the race, we remembered how in 2023, Red Bull was the only one to use 2 sets of soft C3 and 1 hard C1 in the Bahrain Grand Prix. However, 12 months ago, many drivers were also forced to make 3 pit stops, while today, only a minority had to opt for this strategy. Almost the entire grid made 2 stops using the soft, hard tactic. That's about where the good news ends. Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez not only were able to mount 2 sets of soft differently from their competitors, but the Dutchman also managed to conduct some tests during the race. If we take as a reference his third stint, in the first laps where he mounted the red band C3 compound, he was completely comfortable making a fast lap in 1:32.608. He warmed up the tires well, pushed hard, it remains to be seen how much, and then calmly returned to the average times of his opponents, such as Sergio Perez, who was running in 1:34.5, setting a 1:36.6, then a 1:35.3, and finally a 1:34.6. A calmness he certainly wouldn't have had if he had been under pressure. Instead, for Max Verstappen, this race was like a test session. Obviously, the word test is not so much to say he tried whatever devilry, but to emphasize that on the track, besides racing, the Dutchman can also afford to do whatever comes to his mind, a luxury that the other competitors don't have. Most likely, even Sergio Perez could have done better than what was seen. However, the team might have asked him, starting from 5th place, to climb up to P2 and then maintain a slightly slower pace than the third, to allow the Dutch champion to keep a pace that would preserve the engine, ensuring victory in case of any unexpected safety car. This strategy at the same time allowed Checo to protect himself from attacks coming from competitors behind him. He was in total control. Red Bull has no reason to push to the limit. Why risk wearing out the mechanical parts excessively when they have such an advantage? They are ahead, have a lot of advantages, and can rightly afford to manage. There is little but good progress if we talk about Scuderia Ferrari. Charles Leclerc's race was affected by a brake issue that prevented him from fully understanding the car's behavior in corner entry, which, according to the driver, cost him the 2nd position. Moreover, last night, after the qualifying session, the Maranello team proceeded to replace the left front brake duct deflector outlet on car #16, violating the first curfew of the year. A coincidence? The team and the driver claim that what was seen on the track today has nothing to do with the repair, but honestly, we have our doubts. That said, there has been progress. Carlos Sainz finished 3rd with ease, while Charles Leclerc, despite the difficulties, came 4th in defense against Russell. The British Mercedes driver paid for the early first stop when switching from soft to hard when he still had a good pace. The undercut was powerful, yes, but it would have also been beneficial to enjoy fresher tires in the last stint of the race. By deciding to extend the 2nd stint, Ferrari found itself facing the final run with less worn compounds, which significantly helped the drivers and management. Overall, if we look at Carlos Sainz, who made many of his overtakes on soft C3 compound, the Prancing Horse team has improved in terms of tire management, both soft and hard. There seems to have been a step up from direct rivals, and now we await confirmation from the next events. What's missing is the last big piece that will allow them to fight against Red Bull. In qualifying, the Maranello team has often shown that it can, frequently, make life more difficult for Max Verstappen. However, Red Bull in the race has something more. A detail or a set of details that, added up, make a huge difference. It will be difficult to change the story until they manage to emulate all these key aspects, including strategies. On a positive note, Ferrari performed the 2 fastest pit stops of the race, 2.23 seconds for Charles Leclerc and 2.27 seconds for Carlos Sainz. Maybe what used to be one of the team's weaknesses is now becoming one of their strengths.